What's up, besties? Welcome back to Talkin Schmitt. It is your mother, Brittany Schmitt. I'm so excited to be here with you today. That was a lie. That was a bit of a lie. I'll be honest. I'm kind of going through it right now. I feel like every single time I sit down to record, I'm going through it. Is this just a year where I'm supposed to go through it? Is this just a year where everything is supposed to feel sticky and icky and bad and funky? I don't know. I had really high hopes for this year. And I've said this before, silly me. I was like, this is going to be a great year. We're into April. We are all the way into April. And it's not feeling great, I'll be honest. And I had a friend check me the other day. She is somebody that I've met out here in the program. And she's one of one friends that I've made here. And she's like, I think you need to start being more grateful. And I was like, bitch, square up. Grateful about what? And I've been practicing gratitude. I've been practicing my little gratitude list ever since she said that. I've been practicing gratitude. And it's funny how your spirit does start to settle when you are practicing gratitude. And I just got some really bad news yesterday. Really, really fucking bad news yesterday. I'll tell you guys about it later because I don't keep secrets from you guys, but I can't tell you up top because if I tell you up top, I will start crying. But even through this bad news, which is going to be ongoing, I've been practicing gratitude. I wake up and I'm like, I'm grateful for my home, even though it looks like a fucking Sims house. I'm grateful for my boyfriend, even though he's not perfect. Actually, he's been really, really good lately. And you guys were so nice to him. Thank you all for the kind comments. He was so scared to do the podcast, but he did such a good job. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys want out of this podcast. Do you like guests? Do you like solo? Do you need more structure? Should I quit podcasting? Should I start a new life? Should I run to Bali, where I would be considered a very wealthy person there, and just hide in a teepee for 4 to 6 years? Should I pull a Dave Chappelle, even though nobody would miss me and nobody would be sad that I was gone? Maybe I just pull a Chappelle and I leave the country for a couple years. And do I have ancestors or roots in Bali? No, I don't. But it's about one of one places I could go where my money would mean anything. So anyway, I've been doing gratitude lists, waking up in the morning, saying everything I'm grateful for. And then here's a fun trick. So I was having a really hard time sleeping, and I quit caffeine again. That's not a trick. That's just something I've done because I'm a fucking addict. I'm an addict in every sense of the word. If I find something that I like and it makes me feel a little different and it takes me out of my head, I'm like, give me 400 of them. They're like, but ma'am, 4 is what we recommend for coffee servings per day. And I'm like, I want all of it. I can't stop. Here's what I do with coffee. Here's my little pattern with coffee. And I'm going to go on a rant, and I'm not going to remember where I started, and I'm not going to be able to get back there. So we're going to go get lost together. Okay, besties? Let's get lost. Come, hold my hand, come on this journey with me. This is what happens. So a couple years ago, I quit drinking caffeine. It was the best year of my life. When my head hit the pillow at night, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., I was out like a light. When I woke up in the morning, it was 8 to 10 hours later, whatever my body needed that night, and I was wide awake, and I had my own energy, and I was a fully functioning human being the exact way God intended me to. I was completely sober. I wasn't drinking any caffeine. I was just drinking water. Every once in a while, I'd have a juice if I was feeling crazy, but the only thing that I had to live for was chocolate. And that wasn't enough. So eventually, at that point in my life, I was married, and Chris would go on his little coffee walks in the morning, and I felt excluded from the ritual. So I was like, I'll get a decaf coffee. And then decaf coffee turned it into I'll have a tea. Tea is low caffeine, right? Tea is low caffeine. I'll ease my way back into it. I'll have a tea, whatever. One tea won't hurt me. And then I felt a little something, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to chase that dragon. I want to feel a little something more. And so then I was like, I'll have a chai latte. It's kind of tea and it's kind of coffee, right? No, and it's coffee. I think. I don't know. None of my business. But I kicked it up a notch from there, and I said, give me a dirty chai. And what's a dirty chai? A dirty chai has a shot of espresso in it, and that espresso made me feel alive. And then I was like, I want to feel alive all day long. And then I would have 2 of those a day and maybe 3 of those a day. And then what happens is when my head hits the pillow at night, it is on a fucking hamster wheel. It is go, going, and it can't stop. So, yeah, I just like fully relapsed on caffeine. And then I never really like unrelapsed. Like there was a place in time where I tried to drink less of it. And, you know, like the true alcoholic in me was like, I'll just have it before 11 a.m., before 12 p.m., as long as I don't have it before 4 p.m., you know. But what the trade-off is, I get to feel amazing and like I'm on top of the world and like I am not quite myself, which is all I want in this world, is to feel like I'm not quite myself. Anything to take me out of my own motherfucking medulla, anything to take me out of this head of mine that hasn't served me great. I'll be honest, this head, it's a bad neighborhood. It's the ghetto. I wouldn't go there, okay? If I were you and I could choose where I wanted to go, choose my own adventure in life, I wouldn't pop into my head because it is a dark place and there are demons up there and they're fighting for their fucking life, okay? But sometimes when I drank coffee and I had some caffeine, I was like, let's dress the demons up, you know? Let's put them in a fucking dress and take them out for a two-step. Let's take them for a fucking spin. Let's give them a little caffeine. Let's give them a little something to live for. But what happened is this caffeine is great when you're busy, right? When you're a busy person, you're going into an office, you're getting shit done. You're like, you're drinking a coffee, you're blasting off emails, you're firing out creative, you're going into the bathroom, you're taking a meaningful shit, and then you're getting back at your desk and you keep going. And that is when caffeine is your bitch lover. And if that is your life, I think you should have caffeine. I think you should never stop drinking caffeine. I think maybe do cocaine while you're at it. You know what I mean? Like when you have shit to get done, here's when we hit the skids with caffeine. When you don't have anything going on. When you're bored and you're over caffeinated and you're just sitting there ruminating and thinking about every person who's ever hurt your feelings and every single person that's ever done you wrong and every single way that you could get revenge. That is when caffeine becomes your enemy, because then what does it do? It gives you anxiety. And here's the thing about anxiety. Anxiety is it's not living in the present. And living in the present is the only way to feel joy. And have I ever felt joy? A moment in my life, maybe for 5 minutes. I don't know. But I'm aware. Here's the really tricky dichotomy about being me that really bums me out. And it probably, maybe you guys can relate to this too. I know how to live to be free and happy. I have read enough books. I have meditated enough. I have done the work. And I know how to be free. I know how to be joyous, happy, and free. But instead, because I'm bored, I go fucking insane. I'm not at peace, and caffeine doesn't help with that, because then I'm just not at peace and I have a lot of energy to not be at peace. You know how sometimes when you get mad about something, you tire yourself out and you're like, well, now I need a nap because I'm so tired. Naps fix everything. You know, naps really truly fix everything. Have you ever thought I should kill myself? And then you just take a fucking nap and you're like, never mind, new lot on life. I have more reasons to live now than ever. Just like a little boost of energy. And how weak are we as a human species that we need sleep, right? So much sleep. Like, it is crazy. And here's the thing. I love sleep. I've always loved sleep. You guys are probably going to listen to this because I did one other episode like this where I talked really fast and you guys all said I was on drugs, and that was very mean, but whatever. I love sleep. I've always loved sleep because sleep, when I was a kid, sleep to me was the only escape from life. I hadn't found drugs or alcohol yet, or sex, or any of my other many addictions. I hadn't found any of those to take me away from myself. So sleep was the one place where I am alive. But am I? I'm here. But am I? There's no drama. There's no troubles. There's nothing wrong when you're sleeping, unless you have a horrific nightmare, in which case, whatever. I don't know. I saw something on Instagram the other day that said, your soul doesn't know what to do when it's sleeping. And I actually don't understand. There's a lot of different, you know what? I'm going to read a book on this before I tell you guys anything. I was just going to try and repeat something that I kind of half paid attention to. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a dangerous person who spreads misinformation. Anyway, all that to say, what the fuck is going on, besties? Do you guys even like this podcast? Do you guys like it? Be honest. Looking for feedback. I want to know what's working. I want to know what's not working. I personally like it, but I feel like I've been complaining a lot lately. So I wonder if I'm just like a downer in your guys' life, and I hope not. I feel like I've kind of had negative vibes this year. I'm trying to keep it off the pod, but yeah, like life is just, you know, life is just lifing. And unfortunately, that's going to keep happening until it doesn't, you know. I can't jump into the bad news yet. So I'll tell you guys something else. Here's another thing I've been doing. I've been cooking like Betty fucking Crocker. Am I a good chef? No. Am I a top chef? No, I'm a bottom chef. Like I am a real vodka bottom shelf chef. Like I am not good. I've never been good. My dad is an amazing cook. Like he told me my whole life, he's like, pay attention because one day you're going to need to know this stuff. And I was like, nah. And I just didn't pay attention. And I've been calling him every night being like, what was that recipe? What's this recipe? I don't have anything to do here. So I've been like Betty fucking Crocker. I roasted a chicken, which is not hard to do, but like who the fuck roasts a chicken? That is a whole entire housewife. That is a housewife activity. I roasted a chicken. I made banana pancakes. Excuse me, Jack Johnson. I have just been cooking. I made some breakfast tacos. Anyway, what happened to my dreams? What happened to my dreams, you guys? Where'd they go? I did go to Chicago this last weekend, which is a lot of fun. You guys saw it last week. We did an episode with Dr. Eric. He's the best. I love him so much. He's so smart and funny. I hope you guys learned a lot from that episode. But I will say in that episode, it's so funny because I say to him, like, I want my lips done, do my lips. And he's like, you don't need your lips done. And I was like, give me a little something, doc, you know? Here's the thing. Don't bully your friends into doing work that they just told you don't need, because my God, did we accidentally overfill my top lip? I looked insane, you guys. I have to send you a picture. We did it like kind of close to night. And if you guys know anything about injections, one of the things about getting lip injections or any sort of injections is you have to sleep elevated, because otherwise when you sleep flat on your back, the blood rushes to your face and it swells. Blood rushes to your head and it swells. So I woke up and I looked like Donald fucking Duck. And I was like, oh no. Oh no, what have I done? And everyone's like, here's the thing, you guys, you need honest friends in your life. You need people like me who are going to tell you when you look fucking crazy, okay? I sent it to a bunch of friends and I was like, oh no, look what I did. And everyone's like, it's fine, you're just swelling. No, everything's good. They're going to go down. Everything's amazing. Oh. Sent it to Shane. Shane was in Chicago. Shane Gillis was in Chicago doing shows. He is, by the way, just like the nicest person. Like he would never say anything mean to me. But well, maybe he would if I was asking for it. But I told him, I was like, I'm coming and I look like a fucking idiot, so don't say anything. And I get into the green room and it's him and Santino is there doing a guest spot. And Santino and I are infinitely closer than me and Shane. Like Shane's the homie. I love Shane, but like I barely see Shane. Shane's obviously on top of the world, running around, doing everything. So I get into the green room. Shane's like, it's not that bad. You don't look that bad. Santino looks at me. He's like, you fucking pig bitch. What did you do to your face? The scream I scrumped. I was laughing so hard. I did not feel good though, so I didn't stay that long. Shane's show was amazing. His opener was great. Santino did a guest spot. God, I want to remember his opener's name. I think it was Kevin Iso. Bruh. So funny. Like, so funny. Such a smart writer. Every joke took a turn that I didn't expect it to take. And that's all you can ever ask for in comedy, is to be like pleasantly surprised by another comedian's writing. Santino was great. Hannibal Buress dropped in and did a set. And I'll say this, Hannibal. He's great. He's a legend, obviously. But he did his 2 Chainz jokes, which are like old. very old. I'm so hard on myself about reusing old jokes. I'm like, I can't do that. That's old. People have seen it. I have to remember, like, the number of people that have seen my comedy is so small. And like when I'm doing rooms with other people's audiences, I would say there is maybe, let's say I was doing Shane's show. I was not doing his show, but let's say I did his show. There would maybe be 20 people in that room who had even ever heard of me before. And he did the United Center. Okay. So I don't know. It gave me a moment of pause where I'm like, oh yeah, a legend like this is doing old shit because he knows it slaps. And all you got to do when you're going to work is make sure this shit slaps, especially when you're working on someone else's show. I know you guys don't care. You guys don't want to talk about comedy. I was just telling you a little bit about what I learned this weekend. And then on top of that, Santino obviously fucking crushed. He's a monster. He's so fucking funny. But it was good. It's good. And the moral of the story is you need people that are going to tell you when you look fucking stupid. Because the gays that I was staying with, my friend Brian, who I love dearly, he's like, you're going to be fine once the swelling goes down, And I was like, no, we did something wrong here. And I'm 100% saying it's my fault because Dr. Eric was like, you do not need this. And I was like, put it in, you dumb little bitch. No, I didn't call him that. My friend Allie, you guys know Allie Colbert. She FaceTimed me. She's like, oh my God, you look awful. She's like, what did you do to your face? And that's the sort of humbling that I needed in that moment. I just was like, nope, you're right. You are right. So yeah, you got to have people that are honest with you. And here's the thing. I'm that person in other people's lives, but I think that we have a sort of blindness towards our own faces and our own bodies. And I've talked about this, not on this podcast, but on This Is the Worst. Like I would talk about like when I started doing Ozempic, like could I have afforded to lose a few pounds? Sure. But goddamn, I did not have any idea how good I looked when I did it. And I'm not saying that to be like up my own ass. I'm saying that because I have now done this a few times where like I think I'm fixing something and then I make it worse. And it just reminds me of the saying that my dad always said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if the few times in my life when I have tried to buy something new, not on my body, just in life, buy something new when I had a thing doing that function that worked perfectly, the new thing almost is always worse. Like I've done this before with a cell phone. I remember one time I had Sprint. You guys remember that back in the dinosaur days? I don't even think they're in business anymore. I had Sprint and what is that reflection? Okay, sorry. I had Sprint and I had I didn't even have an iPhone at the time. I don't remember what phone I had. Maybe it was still a BlackBerry. And the BlackBerry worked fine. And Sprint, the network, worked fine. But I remember someone like teased me for having Sprint. They're like, they had the Framley plan. Do you guys remember that? The Friends and Framley plan? Oh my God, I can't talk. Okay. Anyway, someone teased me about it. And I was like, maybe it's time for me to get an iPhone. Maybe it's time for me to upgrade to AT&T. Get on board with the rest of the world. And so I did that 2 days before my birthday. And I got a new phone. And I remember on my birthday, I didn't hear anything from anyone. And I was like, what in the Sam Hill's going on here? And when I looked into it, because it was switching over from the green bubble texting, SMS, to iOS texting, it got like lost in translation and all the wires got crossed. So I like ran into people after my birthday and they're like, oh yeah, I texted you on your birthday and you didn't text me anything back. And I'm like, how many messages did I miss? Well, I missed my whole, like, now I don't know who loves me. I have been, since I've been like Billy Madison, like not Billy Madison. What's that? Steve Buscemi's character in Billy Madison making the to kill list. That was me after my birthday, to kill and lipstick and just everyone who didn't text me. And then like when people started saying they did text me, I would like cross them off the list. That literally was me. But it was like, it wasn't broken. The phone was working fine. The service was great. Oh, and this is the other thing. I lived in Venice Beach at the time on the beach. and AT&T service over there was wackadoo. So I had to like leave my apartment to get service. It was just a whole thing where I just remember my dad being like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I've also been feeling that way lately about my car. Like I'm ready for a new car, but it ain't broke. So I'm not going to fix it because this is the lesson that I learned. Okay. This week's episode is brought to you by Berber hair oil. You guys, you know I have my slick back in right now. You know my whole life is a slick back in this bitch. I'm just slick back in Florida. That's my whole entire vibe. No makeup, slick back hair. It is a regenerative year for mama. Okay, she's taking care of her skin. She's taking care of her nails. She's taking care of her hair. Okay, she's not taking care of her nails. She's got fucking nails on. Sorry, I lied. Nails and skin, it's the fucking year. Next week, I'm going to share some skincare secrets with you guys. Don't let me forget. But this week, Berber is my number one hair care secret. It's not even a secret anymore. I talk about it every single week. I want you guys to come on this journey with me. It's burdock oil. I did the dermaplaner. I got a new dermaplaner because I was like, mine's feeling a little dull. I got a new one. Oh, it hurts so good. Dermaplane that bitch. Mermaid hairbrush. It is so, so good. Your hair will be stronger and healthier and more luxurious than ever, and I promise you that. Use my code BRITT, BRITT, for 15% off your first order at Berber.com, BUR.com. Use my code BRITT, BRITT, for 15% off your first order. I love you so much. Talk to you later, besties. So I got my lips done because I wanted to like get a little zhuzhing done. I looked stupid for 2 days. And then I have been toying with getting a boob job, and it's funny because I posted something about wanting to get it, and like the responses are truly so 50-50. It is a divided right down the middle crowd. Like, and I thought it would be more men being like, get your tits done. Like, no, guys have actually, some of them that have responded are obviously like, fuck yeah, go get those titties, bitch. But like a lot of them are like, your body, your choice, or like, you know, do them if you want them. One guy said something great. He was like, if you want to get your tits done, get your tits done. He's like, but just know any guy that wants you for your tits is a weirdo. And I was like, that's a fucking iconic response. I love that. But a lot of girls have sent me messages being like, it is life-changing. I love them so much. I wish I would have got them done sooner. Blah, 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 blah. And then the other half are like, don't do it. It's poisoning your body. I got mine. I had to get them taken out. My personality changed. I got sick from them. La, 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 la. So there's like, you know, there's the dichotomy of that. Like, could it make you like a ton more confident? And yeah, but I also like don't hate my tits. You know what I mean? So this is the thing. Or if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like I'm like, I like my little C cups, my little bouncy girls. They're not bad. I'm just bored. Okay, you guys, that's what's going on. That's the theme of this episode is mama is fucking bored. So what I have decided to do, and I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I do think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to get a job while I live here. I think I need to do something that's not comedy and not podcasting to spend my days because, like, let's be real about podcasting. I love you guys so much. If I could spend every hour of every day with all of you, I would. But this is 1 hour a week. Editing all in, let's call it 2.5 hours a week. That is not a job, okay? And also, it's not paying the bills. Oh, and this is why I was asking, do you guys like the podcast? Because here's the thing. I'm like at this tipping point where I need more people to listen to it so it can monetize. And I know you guys don't really necessarily care about the back end of my business or how this works, but I'm at a point now, and I knew when I left the old, I didn't leave the old podcast, when the old podcast ended and I decided to start a new one, I knew it was going to be nothing near that. Like Brittany Furlan added so much to that other podcast, and like us together was such a great dynamic. Like that was such a special thing. Obviously that was lightning in a bottle. That was a moment in time that's like not gonna come back. But I knew it was never gonna be that big. But I didn't quite think it would be this small either. And I'm not mad because I like intimate parties. I think they're honestly better. But can you tell your friends about the podcast? If you like it, could you just like tell your girlfriends about it? Or boyfriends or whoever, friends, they, them friends about it. Because I just want to like tip it over the edge. And the only other option, which you guys hated when we did it with the old podcast, is Patreon. Patreon would help me out a little bit, but I know a lot of you guys would get mad at me, so I just want to keep the peace, and I don't want everyone getting all fired up at me. So anyway, I'm doing a little tell a friend campaign. So if you could tell your friends, tell her friend to tell your friend, that we could be friends, and we could do this every weekend, that would be great. Wow, you guys, what an episode. Okay, so I started reading a new book. By the way, I have 3 books around here because don't worry, we are doing The Artist Way. We are doing the introduction to The Artist Way today. You guys were yelling at me in the comments. Someone was like, don't change the date. And I was like, easy killer. Also, I lied to you guys. I didn't mean to, but I did. I thought it was a 9-week course, and then I popped the book open and it's 12 weeks. Oh my Lanta. So we are going to be like in the middle of summer by the time it's over, but I promise you our brains and our little creative inside of us will just thank you so much. But I'm going to get to that at the very end because some of you guys don't want to do that. You're busy. You're just not interested, and that's totally fine, and I respect that. So what I do want to get into is this book that has blown me the fuck away. The Art of Detachment. Have you guys read this? And if you haven't, what the fuck are you doing with your life? No one even recommended it to me. I just went down a wormhole on Amazon because I ordered Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and I just have been wanting to tap more into my spiritual work and my spiritual side. I've been praying a lot more lately, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't, but I've really been like needing signs, like direct signs from God about things. And so I've been praying and it's working. And here's the thing. And whether or not you believe in God, that's your business. I do because I don't have any other choice because I believed in myself for so long. And I thought I ran the show for so long. And then things went so poorly for so long that I was like, hey, anybody out there? Could I get a little help? Is anybody alive? Could I get a little fucking help? And the second you ask for help, you get it. And it's funny because I used to have vague prayers, right? I used to be like, hey, God, what's up? It's your girl, BRITT. Just saying hi and I love you. I hope everything's good up there. You know, like my prayers were kind of dumb, but I was like checking in, but they were kind of dumb. And then when I had like real stuff come up that was like making me soul sick and spiritually not feeling great, I started doing the resentment prayer. And the resentment prayer, for those of you who don't know, it's something that I learned in the program, but I'm sure if you're not, I know for a fact that if you're not in it, you can use it and it will work because it works like a motherfucker. Like it is basically a person, place, or thing that you are holding hate in your heart for. And I know you guys know who mine is. I don't even have to say it. I do need to be over it though, because I have to be fucking done. I have to move on. It's April. I am about to turn 37 this month. I can't be holding hate in my heart. I can't be drinking the poison and expecting another person to die. So what I've been doing is the resentment prayer. And so whoever, you guys just think about it right now, you probably all have someone that you're just fucking fuck that person. Fuck you, fuck this, fuck that, da da da. Whatever it is. It can be anything, anyone, anywhere. But mine were at people specifically. And so what I did at night was I prayed and I said, hey God, what's up? It's your girl. What's up? It's me. I just want to send a lot of love and light and peace and to blank, whoever your person is, fill in the blank. I hope they get love. I hope they receive the love they're looking for. I hope they receive the abundance they're looking for. I hope they get the big life that they dreamed for themselves. I hope that they get everything they ever wanted, and I am sending them and showering them in love and light. Fucking cringe, barf, fuck that. What the fuck are you talking? The first time I heard that, I was like, that's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard, but I'll do it. You know, because that's where I'm always at in my life, is I am the first person to judge a solution before I try it, but I am always willing to try it. Because left to my own devices, I am oftentimes in misery. So I was like, that's fucking stupid. Why would I ever wish my ops a good life? Why would I ever want them to have a good life? But it's not even about that. It's about when you send someone or something love, you have to let go of the hate that you're holding in your heart. You absolutely must. And, you know, So anyway, I started doing that, and then I was asking for specific prayers. And this is where it gets interesting, because sometimes I get really quick responses to my prayers, and I just will be like, if I'm supposed to do this, show me a sign. And the one that I was looking for this week was, if I'm supposed to get a job, show me a sign. And I was toying with the idea, and you guys are going to maybe laugh at this or whatever. I was just like, I could bartend again. I could serve tables. Like, I could do that. I loved that. I loved serving tables. I loved being on my feet, running around. The days flew by, interacting with customers. Like, am I great with customer service? Obviously fucking not, but I'm good at that job. I can get it done. I'm a great bartender because I'm a fucking alcoholic. I can make a mean martini, okay? I can make all the drinks under the sun, and I can make them fast. And I only bartended for a year in Wisconsin, but I made bank bartending. And I was like, listen, the bank that I made then, I've redefined bank, because I've made different levels of bank, throughout my career. Bartending now would not be bank for me, but it would be like a good way to distract me from myself. Because I think the reality is that idle hands are the devil's workshop, and my dad has always said this. My dad is an electrician. He's a hard worker. He's always working with his hands. And, when I quit corporate to work in comedy, he was scared for me, not because of obviously the clear prospect of failure, which I think most parents are, and they try and protect their children from. He's like, but the schedule is also very tricky, right? Because I work nights now, and I only work when I want to. And I work really, okay, so this is something that is within me because of the way I was raised. So many things are within all of us because of how we were raised. I always was naturally pretty good at school. I could just get it done kind of without trying too hard, but I never wanted to. Does that make sense? So like, I could, but I didn't want to. And the only reason I was not an exemplary student, because I wouldn't say that. I was a good student. I was A's and B's. But the only reason I was A's and B's is because of my mom. Because if I was left to my own defenses, I would have been B's and C's. Because I'm lazy. Okay, that's the thing. I'm a Taurus. I like my bed. I like to lay down. I like to snooze. I like a snack. I like a book. I like a TV show. I like to lose myself in comfort, okay? And I just don't wanna. Okay, most of the time I just don't wanna. So I can set goals for myself, and I can really mean it when I set those goals for myself. But if I don't have someone saying this is due by this date, and if that doesn't happen, there are consequences, I usually don't get it done. And I hate that about myself. And I'm not blaming my mom for that. I'm really not. I think it's just how I am as a person. And I think she forced me to be a better person in that category by like toxicity and manipulation and violence and all of those things. But like, she did force me to be good at academics when I was in school. But since I've left school, if I don't have structure, I won't show up. And I always, when I worked in advertising, I always figured out a way to kind of game the system where I could be there the least amount of hours and do the least amount of work, but still like my least amount of work was always exceeding expectations. Does that make sense? Like and I'm not tooting my own horn here, because what I am saying is if I had any fucking dedication, motivation, ambition, if I had anything in me, I could really accomplish some shit. But unfortunately for all of us, I'm just like a mid-level accomplishing hoe, and I'm kind of a stick in the mud when no one's breathing down my neck. So for example, this book, I told you guys about this book that I'm trying to write. It is an excavation of the soul. It is heavy, it is hard, and I don't wanna, okay? Every time I sit down to write it, I end up sobbing, and I'm like, I am sad. I just upped my Lexapro to 10 milligrams. There's not a Lexapro in the world to keep me from retching, crying when I'm writing this thing. And so it's hard, and I tried to like make myself stick to it, and I tried to give myself a schedule, but unfortunately I don't have an advance, and there's no one breathing down my neck being like, this amount of pages needs to be due by this amount of time, so I'm I'm not really sticking to my goals in the way that I would want to. So I think it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to get a job. You know, I think just like a little structure in my life wouldn't fucking kill me. And I will keep you guys posted on that journey. I don't think I'm going to bartend. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I was thinking it could be exciting to be a cart girl. Just like out in the sun with golfers, just giving them their beers all day. That sounds kind of cool. I don't know. I'm just like exploring what my life looks like here, and I need to find a little bit of purpose. But I think the thing that has me really excited right now in this moment is the possibility of working with rehabs and people in recovery out here, because there's a lot of recovery and there's just like a lot of that around here. And I think that would be purposeful work that's aligned with what I'm trying to do with my life, which is help people. So that's where I'm at with my personal journey. Whoa. I mean, this podcast has really just turned into like a vlog about my life here. And did anybody want that? Did anyone ask for that? I don't think so. Okay, let's talk about The Art of Detachment, because this book I was reading it on the flight to Chicago, and my, oh my. Okay. It's talking about the mind's tug of war. Our minds are restless travelers, constantly leaping from one time frame to the other. We replay mistakes, reliving them as if we could rewrite history. We anticipate future outcomes, often fearing what might go wrong rather than trusting in what could go right. This constant mental tug of war robs us of the richness of the present moment. And that's what I was talking about earlier. The present is the only place that we have any chance at feeling peace. Okay. So I like this analogy. I think that's what it is. Analogy. I'm going to have to check to make sure that's the right word. One day a disciple approached the Buddha with a troubled mind, burdened by regrets of the past and fears of the future. The Buddha asked him, if a man is struck by an arrow, is it painful? The disciple nodded. And if the second arrow strikes him in the same place, would it not be even more painful? The disciple agreed. The Buddha then explained, in life, we cannot always avoid the first arrow. It is the natural pain that comes with existence. But the second arrow, the suffering we create with our minds, is optional. We shoot at ourselves when we dwell on past wounds or worry about future troubles. Fuck. Like, fuck me up, Buddha. Okay? Because that's literally my whole fucking life, is thinking about, did I fuck everything up in the past? And am I about to fuck everything up in the future? Because I don't trust myself that I'm always making the right decisions. I feel like I looked back and ruminated on the past a lot, especially after my divorce, and was like, did I just fuck my whole life up? Did I just leave the coolest, smartest, funniest, most handsome dude? Like, he adored me. We owned a home together. We had a dog together. Like, everything was great. And I just was like, I'm not happy. And I left. And I remember I just beat myself up and beat myself up and beat myself up about that for years. But like, the reality was, in the present, when I was in that situation, I was also not happy. And then I got out of the situation and then I wasn't happy. And then I started thinking, well, what if I don't make it in this industry? What if I don't make it in this career? What if I don't blah, 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 blah? So I continued to just rob myself of my happiness at all times. And I think that second arrow analogy is so poignant, because it's like, life is filled with pain. Life is going to be horrible. Not horrible. Listen, it's fine, right? It's fine. It's got fucking issues, but like, that's all of our character development. We're all down here to feel this shit and to move through this shit. But like, we don't have to keep hurting ourselves, right? It's like when you have a cut and it starts to scab, and then you pull the scab off, and then it starts to scab, and then you pull it off. You like never let yourself heal if you keep pulling at that scab, right? And again, this is the dichotomy of my brain, where I know how to live life, to feel good, and to be present and at peace, and I can't do it, right? So I'm just telling you the things I'm learning, because I want us all to be aware, and I hope you're not pained by the dichotomy. I hope you guys can take action and like actually, find some peace. Because I remember my old AA sponsor used to say to me, she always said, I was like, well, what if I fucked up? What if I wasn't supposed to do it? That? What if da da da? And she's like, well, you know how it's supposed to happen, because it happened. and God's plan is perfect, and you're not in control. So even if you are, obviously we do have self-will and we do make decisions, and I did decide to leave my ex, but like I decided to leave my ex with a clear mind, and that's what needed to happen. Also, can I say that man is fucking thriving? Like he is thriving, and I am so happy for him. Like he is the head of creative at NBA 2K. He's doing great with his career. The house looks great. I think he's starting to do some renovations. He has a new dog with his girlfriend that he's had for like 3 years. He's super happy. Also, he launched a hot dog company. So, one of the things I kind of told him when we were married, I was like, you don't have like a ton of ambition, like you're just kind of chilling. And it was a hard juxtaposition because I was like chasing a fucking dream, right? I was like, I'm going to be a comedian and I'm going to la, la, la. And then, I think maybe he thought like I wouldn't leave. But then I did. And he started a hot dog company with one of his friends. His friend, Bryce, asked him to do the creative because he's an art director. So he's a creative director, art director. So what that means is when you see ads, the creative director is the person who visually designs it, and the copywriter is the person who lingually, like, they do the, not catchphrase, why can't I think of it? Log line, or that's also not the word. I was in advertising for 10 years. Why can't I think of it? Well, because my brain shuts out parts that it doesn't want to revisit. Okay. It's trauma a little bit. Copywriters do the fucking copy on the ads. Okay. Let's just put it that way. Anyway. So his friend came to him and was like, I'm starting this hot dog company. Do you want a percentage of it? If you do like all the why can't I think of words right now? Like AdWords. I can't think of them. All of the branding. There we go. Jesus. What? Was that so hard? Anyway, so he did it. He knocked it out of the park. The company's called Gleazy. They're in Harris Teeters all over the country. They're in a bunch of gas stations. Like he's gonna be hot dog rich. Like that's gonna be his story. And I'm so happy for him. Cause like, fuck yeah, he deserves that. No one deserves it more than him. But like truly the impetus of him chasing shit was the divorce. So it's like, was it horribly painful for both of us? Yes. Was it a little more? I don't think it was more painful. I don't think we can measure pain that way. I just think like it took me longer to move on. I ruminated a lot more about it than he did. But like seeing his life now and seeing my life now makes me so sure that like that was the right move. And it's like such a Chinese farmer thing, right? When you're in the pain and you're feeling like, oh, this is fucking horrible. Oh, this is hard. Chinese farmer is like, we'll see. And then the other side of that is like, has this transition to Florida been perfect? No. Has it been great? Has it even been good? Not really. But it's not bad. And I love Max so much. And we are so happy. And like, are we perfect? No. We definitely like fight. And we have issues. But we've been really, really good lately. And I feel really at peace with him and really at home. And like, that was a long way for me to say. Like, if you're in the middle of the shit, just fucking keep going. Because I promise there's something on the other side of it, and there's always a lesson. But also, if you're in the middle of the shit, don't keep hurting yourself by like kicking yourself and being like, you dumb bitch, you didn't have to do that, you didn't blah blah blah. Like, just give yourself grace. And I'm so sick of that phrase. I'm so sick of people saying give yourself grace. It's like, oh my god, can we not? But like, actually give yourself a little bit of a hug when you're feeling like you want to beat yourself up, because life's hard and we're all just doing our best. But don't put that second arrow in, you son of a bitch. Don't be a fucking masochist. All right. Okay. So this is, it's still from The Art of Detachment. I have another thing I want to share with you. We are always running, always reaching, always expecting life to happen elsewhere. We think joy will come in a future achievement and a milestone reached, but when that future arrives, it never feels like enough because we were never truly here to begin with. If we want to live fully, we must slow down, breathe, be present. Otherwise, we will spend our whole lives preparing to live instead of actually living. That's a quote from Seneca, who I think is a philosopher. But that's something I really, really relate to also, because, you know, I think on the episode with Ashley Hesseltine, we talked about the arrival fallacy, which is once I get this, then I'll be happy. But the reality is, if you can't figure out how to be happy now, like if what you have now isn't enough, then more won't make you happy. And that's the truth. And that's a brutal, brutal fucking truth, right? Because I have this too. And I'm not, again, this is again with the dichotomy within me. I know that I have to be present and be here and enjoy this and be grateful, which is why I've been doing my gratitude list. I know in my brain that's what I need to do. But when I journal, I'm like, you know, I would be so much happier if I were on set shooting my TV show that I wrote. I would be so much more fulfilled if my movie got funded and I was, you know, going to set every day and being a part of this. And it's so funny because it's like, you know, I never had dreams of like being a movie star or being on TV or any of that stuff. But like, I'm a writer and I love writing, and I have written a movie that I'm very proud of and a TV show that I poured a lot of my heart into. And I've written things that I want to see come to life. And for one reason or another, they're not. And, you know, Hollywood is having a going out of business sale. Like that, the stuff that's come out about the people at kind of all levels of operating over there. It's, you know, it's dark and it's a little creepy. And then also it's just a struggling industry. It's not one that's making a ton of money anymore. And I feel like I kind of arrived late to the party. Like, you know, I showed up, I'm like the last person at the gangbang. So everyone's like already kind of got their nut and I'm like, wait, I still have to go. So yeah, I have dreams. I have things that I want to do with my life, but they're not happening right now, which is why, you know, I have sort of mentally pivoted to possibly getting a little baby job here and exploring that and what I might be able to pour into the world here. That's not necessarily in entertainment. I don't think, you know, my ego wants my blinders to stay on. My ego is like, you are a full-time touring comedian. You are a podcaster. You are a this, you are a that. But like at the end of the day, like, oh, my tickets aren't really, you know, I pretty much am not doing stand-up anymore. I have a few shows, the ones that got pushed, Raleigh and Nashville. If you're there, please come. They got pushed. They're June 17th and 18th. The tickets are on my website. Please come. I don't even know if I'll remember how to do stand-up by then, but I will be there, and I am excited to go and to get on stage again. And I think that's the thing about taking a break too. I get like genuinely excited about stage time, like where I used to think of it as like a punishment. I'm like, oh, this is a job. It's like a death sentence. But now I'm like, no, this is so great. I haven't done this in so long. It's so fun. I'm so excited to be on tour with Rena, like doing like a shorter set, not an hour, just doing 20 minutes. Like that's fun. This is fun. And like, I think that's like the beauty of the pause, right? Is once you like take yourself away from something that you love but are burnt out by, then when you return to it, you can just remember why you loved it in the first place. Right? But anyway, so I'm doing my best to be grateful and happy and present. That's like really, really like, you know, we make big goals for ourselves. I want my movie made. I want I want to be present. I want to stay in this moment, 10 toes down in every single moment that I'm in this year. That's all I want. I don't want anything else. If I can just stay present, if I can just live minute by minute, I'll be good. Another thing, I have a couple more things from this book I want to share. And if you guys don't like this, if you get like, I'm actually reading comments this time because I'm truly invested in this. I was very invested in the last podcast, but you know, my co-host read all the comments for us and sometimes they were mean. So I was just like, I'm not going to go here. It's a spooky neighborhood. And listen, have I caught a few strays? Of course I have. Like I've seen a few things I wish I didn't see, but I'm also seeing a lot of constructive things that I'm taking into consideration. So if you guys don't like me quoting books, then just tell me. Okay. So this is integrating awareness and mindfulness into daily life. Do every act of your life as though it were the last act of your life. Live each moment fully with intention and awareness, and you will never look back with regret. That's Marcus Aurelius. And that's the Meditations. So they took a quote from the Meditations, which is the book that I was purchasing initially, which I'm going to tell you guys about that one once I get through it. It's a little chunkier to read, but I'm excited to get through that one too. Another powerful practice is naming your distractions. The moment you catch your mind wandering, whether to worries, plans, or past events, pause and label it. Say to yourself, planning, overthinking, worrying. This simple act creates a gap between you and your thoughts, allowing you to regain control over your focus rather than being carried away with mental noise. So one thing that I've been trying to do since I read this book, and it's talking about like being in the moment and truly being in the moment, is when I'm eating, to just eat. You know, I have a habit of like, I'll eat and I'll work, I'll eat and I'll like scroll reels, I'll eat and I'll do something else. But like what's happening then is I'm not tasting my food and I'm not enjoying that experience. So like the one little change that I've made is just mindful eating, right? Taste your food, slow down, don't eat like I'm not in a prison. I need to have my elbows up and like inhale the food so fast in case like nobody's going to come jump me for my biscuit. Okay. So, I've been just like more mindfully eating, and I'm going to get into more of these. I'm going to tell you guys the sad update now, I think, just before we dismount, because there is a chance that this affects me and possibly, the podcast. I mean, huge chance it affects me. Possibility it affects the podcast. So when I was in Chicago, I took Biggie with me, and he was like, you know, I thought he was just like a little off since we moved to Florida. And I have this thing where I always think like, oh, he's going through a big change, so he's just changing. Like even when Chris and I got divorced and we were sharing him and going back and forth, like his health declined. And I was like, oh, he's just a child of divorce. He's so dramatic. He's da-da-da. And then he started having seizures. And I think it was like between Chris and I, probably like his fourth or fifth seizure before we took him in, because we didn't realize the seriousness of it. We literally just thought like, oh, he's just like going through something. It's my first time being a dog mom. I don't know. Like I grew up on a farm. I never like was directly responsible for any of the animals. I'm just figuring it out as I go, right? So we ended up hospitalizing him in 2022 for seizures, and we found out his calcium was low. And so he's been on calcitriol, which is a calcium drug since 2022. And he was mostly regulated. And while they were doing blood work for all of his seizure stuff in 2022, they're like, he has stage 1 kidney disease, but it's very manageable. Like, you know, at stage 1, they just told us to put him on a special diet food and he would be good. And so we did that. And he was like healthy and happy for 4 years, you know? And when we moved to Florida, he's been so happy here. Like he goes out in the morning with Max, he lays in the sun, they have balcony time. It's a whole thing. Like he literally turned chocolate brown. He was a completely black min pin. He turned chocolate brown because he's been getting so much of this hot tropical sun. And he's just been like laying around chilling, but good. Like he was, you know, he was playing and good, and everything was fine. I did notice a bit of incontinence with like his bladder. He wasn't really holding it, but we're also on the 11th story and we have to go up and down elevators to go on walks. And we have like a little pee area for him outside that he like doesn't really love for some reason, whatever. It all seemed very minor. And then I got to Chicago, and then, you know, he wasn't eating his food, and he got diarrhea on our friend's rug that I was staying with, and he was just sick, you know, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just because he's in a different environment, and like we moved, and now I'm taking him to Chicago, like he's old, and maybe he's just like finicky, whatever. And then I got back, and I was like, I think I should probably take him to the vet, because he was on day 5 of not really eating. So I took him to the vet yesterday, and we ran some panels, and he does have stage 3 kidney disease. And here's what that looks like. For those of you who don't know what the kidneys even do or why they're in there, because I didn't know, they basically are like a filtration system, and they keep, you know, toxins and stuff out of the blood. But when they're not working, obviously, then the poison and toxins are going into the blood, and, you know, he's super dehydrated, and he can't really get hydrated, and food is just like not interesting to him anymore because his body can't process it. Yeah, Biggie's my baby, obviously. He will be 13 in May. And like for his breed, he's a baby. You know, he's really, really young. I know 13 is old for a dog in general, but for his breed, it's more common for them to live anywhere between 15 and 19 years. And I always was like almost cocky about how long he was going to live. I was just like, yeah, he's going to live. He's like a cat. He's going to live until he's like 20. He's like judgy like a cat. He's cold like a cat. Like that's my motherfucking dude. He's literally just like me. He's like side eyes everyone that comes in the house. He doesn't really trust anyone. He's not very warm and cuddly until he like learns to trust you and love you. And he just came around on Max and recently, like within the last 2 months, and he's been like cuddly with Max, and it's like been cute, and everything's been really, really nice here. The reality of this disease is it's degenerative, you know, so he's not there. He's in the hospital right now. He's going to be in the hospital for 3 days, and we're trying to flush his system out. But yeah, obviously the reality of this disease is that like we can hopefully regulate it. That is all I can hope for, is that we can regulate it at this phase. We get him on a new diet. I'm really praying that after he spends some time in the hospital, his levels go down, and we can figure out a diet that works for him. I don't care if he pees all over this house. Like that's like one of the things too that I'm just like, God, what a blessing it is that the designers fuck this place up so bad, because I don't care if he can piss and shit everywhere. There's not a single thing in this apartment that I care about. Like, you know, when your dogs have accidents, you're like, oh fuck, I love that rug. Oh God, I love that couch. Oh no, this is not replaceable. Da, 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 da. There's nothing in here that I give a flying fuck about. I'm like, he can do whatever. He can rule the roost. Like last night, I brought him home from the hospital, and because I'm sleeping with him at night. He comes home, he has like a needle in his arm. It's very sad. It's like very fucking sad. He has a needle in his arm, and he's like sad and weak and whatever, but he got out of bed, and I can't really walk him with the needle in his arm because he limps and he holds this arm up and whatever. And he got out of bed, and he took like this black, it literally looked like he laid tar. It was just like this black dark shit, and I was like, that's totally fine on this rug that they said, allegedly was 2000. No fucking world. Like this is like a $70 rug that they got. You know what? It was probably free. That they probably got it out of a fucking dumpster. And I just used my little green machine. By the way, if you guys are a pet owner and you have a dog that ever has accidents in the house, the little green machine, this is not an ad. I just want you guys to fucking know. The little green machine cleans it up. I cleaned it up, washed my hands, and I gave I was almost going to call him Mr. Manhattan, but now you guys know his name. I gave Max and I just a little hair oil treatment. So you guys can see I have my little Berber hair oil in today. I've just been living in Berber hair oil treatments. Berber hair oil treatments and lab-grown diamonds. That's like my whole personality now. I'm like, I've got my little labbies in my ear. I've got oil in my hair. And I'm like, I can't do makeup. I'm too tired. I'm just trying to get through this year. It's been a kick in the dick. I swear to God, if my fucking dog dies, I'm going to be besides myself. I am purposefully not allowing myself to access my emotions right now as I talk about this, because I don't want to be a weeping willow at the end of our podcast. You guys, it's all, it's Monday for you. You guys all have shit to do. You have a big day ahead of you. You don't need to hear some sad shit about my dog not doing real well. But if you guys do have any experience with the dogs who have late stage kidney disease, please let me know, because I am open to any and all solutions. And when I was talking to my vet, she's like, just putting him on a home cooked diet is not going to change this. Like his kidneys aren't working. And I'm just like, what can I do? I just want him to be comfortable and happy. And, I just look at his little sweet face and he's just so innocent. Okay, I can't do this. I just told you I wasn't going to do this. All right, we're going to do the word of the week. You're going to do the word of the week. interesting. I don't like that word. Well, whatever. No, you guys know that word. I know you know that word. Variegated. Variegated. Adjective. variegated. Changing in color. That which alters hue is variegated. June's latest needlework project uses variegated thread to achieve a rainbow effect. Would leaves in fall be variegated? I feel like they would be. Okay, you guys, if I'm losing you here, then I'm losing you here. I love you so much, and I will see you next week. If you're sticking around for the Artist Way, stick around for the Artist Way, because we are doing the introduction. You guys, this is so exciting. If you guys aren't amped up about the Artist Way, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Maybe you've never done it again. Maybe you are a little scared. Maybe you're like, I don't know what the fuck kind of journey I'm even about to embark on with you. No matter what you're feeling, I got you. Don't worry about it. Today's going to be really easy. We're going to go over the introduction and the basic tools. We're not even going to get into week one. Week one will be next week. So that'll be nice. We're just going to go week by week. Next week, what I'm going to do for week one, I'm going to go over week one, and I'm going to do, the little homework prompts. Like basically when you go through your week, at the end of each week, there are going to be little prompts for things that you should do. And the things that you absolutely should do are the ones that you are very drawn to, and the ones that are you absolutely do not want to do. Those are the two that you should do. Because the one that you absolutely do not want to do, that's resistance. That's where the breakthroughs are going to come. Okay. Any of the prompts that you feel neutral about, or you don't feel one way or the other about, leave them by the wayside. We're busy. All right, besties, we are busy. We do not have enough time to do all these motherfucking prompts. This is 12 weeks of our lives that we are taking to dedicate to our creative self. That is such a gift. You guys should be so proud of yourselves for taking this time to work on your inner creator. Okay. I love the way that it's described in the book as, we are made by our creator, and therefore within us is a creator. It is our duty to create. It is our duty, to continue that creation, the way that I think about it, and this is the way that I think about my creator too, so maybe this will help you. I think that, we cannot be the top of the intelligence line, right? So when I had an example, and I've probably talked about it on the podcast before, but when I was having a hard time with God, when I was having a hard time understanding creator, Biggie was barking, he was going crazy, and I was just like, okay, you can bark and go crazy if you want to, but you're safe, like you're good. And I was like, oh, that's how my creator looks at me. That's how my higher power looks at me. Like when I'm in traffic being like, you fucking can't, blah, blah, blah. They're like, you can go crazy if you want to, but you're safe. You're fine. So that's how I understood creator. And I think conversely, when you trickle it down the other way, if something greater than us created us, then we are something greater than what we are creating. Did that? I don't think I said that right. I think if something greater than us created us, then it is our duty to continue creation by creating, by being an artist of some capacity. And it doesn't matter what you do for work. It doesn't matter if you're an assistant. It doesn't matter if you're an accountant. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer. It doesn't matter if you are a writer. It does not matter what you do with your life to pay the bills. There's something within you that is dying to be made, and that's what this process is going to help us unlock. So I'm really proud of you guys, first and foremost, for coming on this journey with me, because it ain't easy, okay? But I'm going to get into, I highlighted a few things that I'm pulling out, and you guys read the introduction on your own. You don't need me to read that for you. But I want to talk about the basic principles. These are very important, okay? So this is spiritual electricity. Those who speak in spiritual terms routinely refer to God as the creator, but seldom see creator as the literal term for artist. I'm suggesting you take the term creator quite literally. You are seeking to forge a creative alliance, artist to artist, with the great creator. Accepting this concept can greatly expand your creative possibilities. Leap and the net will appear. Okay, these are the basic principles. If you didn't read them. What I want you to do is go back. They're on page 3. Go to page 3, get a pen and paper, write them down, tear that piece of paper off and put it in your morning pages. And every time you journal, I want you to, before you journal, to read the basic principles. So every morning you're going to be ingraining these basic principles in you. Okay. So creativity is the natural order of life. Life is energy, pure creative energy. 2, there is an underlying indwelling creative force infusing all of life, including ourselves. 3, when we open ourselves to our creativity, we open ourselves to the Creator's creativity within us and our lives. 4, we are ourselves creations, and we in turn are meant to continue creativity by being creative ourselves. That's what I was trying to articulate earlier. Obviously, one of us is an author. Both of us are authors. One makes money from it. The other one just is like, doo, 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 doo. I type like Peter Griffin with the long nails at the computer, and I'm like, and another thing. Okay. 5, creativity is God's gift to us, using our creativity as our gift back to God. 6, the refusal to be creative is self-will and is counter to our true nature. 7, when we open ourselves to exploring, actually on 6, I want to stick a pin in that. I'll stick a pin in 7, revisit 6. The refusal to be creative is self-will and is counter to our true nature. Something just came into my head in regards to addiction and creativity. So oftentimes there are artists who drink and write, and we know the Hemingways, and we know all the people who were able to be brilliant while they drank and did drugs and whatever. Many comedians of like the 70s, the Robin Williams, the cocaine era. There were a handful of artists. So I know you guys are going to, in your heads, you're going to be like, no, what about this person? What about this person? What about this person? I think in general, addiction keeps us from our creativity. It can, for a moment, for a pocket in time, enhance it. But I think deep down, it can keep us from our creativity. Because it's so much easier to get drunk and fucked up than it is to create. And now this is, as I said that out loud, I just was like, but wait a minute, there's a pocket. There's a moment in time when you've only had like 2 glasses of wine and your inhibitions are down, and you can finally have thoughts without judging those thoughts immediately, where you might have a little pocket of creativity that feels like a burst. But I'm saying sustained creativity is really difficult to do in addiction, because it is easier to get fucked up and hammered and do drugs than it is to create. And I think one of the core ways we keep ourselves from our creativity is through vices. So just be mindful of that. And like I said, there is a caveat, because there is a magic, like in any fucking thing that's wonderful, there's a magic spot where you can finally create and not judge yourself and write things down that you never were brave enough to think or say or put pen to paper to before. And there's definitely a pocket where you can be great when you're, imbibing. Generally speaking, though, I do think it keeps you from what you're really capable of, because that channel needs to be clear and open for you to receive information from the Creator. Okay. 7, when we open ourselves to exploring our creativity, we open ourselves to God. Good, orderly direction. So that's what I want us to remember God as. Good, orderly direction. God will show us the way. I was talking about this earlier in the episode. If you start talking to the sky, it doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. In the beginning of AA, I called him Sky Daddy. I couldn't wrap my head around God. It was too big and too scary. So if God scares you, just remember God is good, orderly direction. You can talk to the sky. You can talk to a bird. You can talk to your dog. You can talk to a palm tree. You can talk to whatever the fuck you want to. I promise you will get answers. Just ask the questions, okay? 8, as we open our creative challenge to the Creator, many gentle but powerful changes are to be expected. 9, it is safe to open ourselves up to greater and greater creativity. 10, our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move towards our dreams, we move towards divinity. Okay, so how to use this book. You guys probably won't have time to complete all the tasks. I said that earlier. Just do what you're really drawn to and what you don't want to do. That's going to be the most important. I think, so it's the morning pages and the artist date. And if you guys haven't read this far yet, the basic tools are the morning pages. You guys need to get a journal, and you need to journal 3 pages a day. It's supposed to be 1 page is a front to back page. Okay, so 1 page is front to back. 2. So like technically it's like 6 pages of writing. I have never in my now 8 years of writing morning pages or journaling in the morning ever been able to do that. I think maybe I get 2 pages if I'm being honest. I want to be honest with you guys because I want you to know, do your best to get to 3. I run out of things to say, but the point of the morning pages is 3 pages front and back, so you can get all of the clutter out of your head, right? You can get the, oh, I'm so mad at this person. Oh, I woke up grumpy. Oh, I got this email. Oh, this made me mad. Oh, I feel tired. Oh, I didn't sleep well. Oh, I had a nightmare. Oh, I'm so sluggish. Oh, this person did this thing and it's going to affect my day. Oh, my day got hijacked. Just any feeling you have. And you can just look at the page and be like, wow, I am so fucking boring. I often look at the page and be like, I am so fucking boring. Like, is this actually who I am? Like, I'm the most boring person alive. But you just have to get all that brain clutter out so that it clears your source to the creator. This is not something you're going to see a change in instantly. I didn't. It takes time. It takes repetition. So just stick with it. I promise you the good stuff will come. It just takes time. So what to expect? Many of us obviously wish we were more creative. Many of us sense we are more creative, but unable to effectively tap that creativity. Our dreams elude us. Sometimes we have specific creative longings we would love to be able to fill, learning to play the piano, painting, taking acting class, or writing. Sometimes our goal is more diffuse. We hunger for what might be called creative living, an expanded sense of creativity of our business lives and sharing with our children, our spouse, our friends. So whatever you're looking for, just don't be ashamed. And it doesn't even have to be specific. If you don't know what you're looking for yet, you'll find it. I promise. Okay. We're on this journey together. We're going hand in hand into the sunset. Okay. So what's going to happen here is you guys are going to get around 4 weeks, I would imagine. That's where I've gotten it. So I want you to know, I want to be completely honest with you. I've done this book 2 times in total my whole life. I have started this book 6 times. Around week 4, I decide it's too much work. I decide it's too tumultuous. I decide it's too annoying. I decide I'm good, I'm creative, I'm fine, and I abandon it. But what that is fear, and it kicks up a lot of feelings. So I want you guys to be prepared for that because it does kick up a lot of feeling. There's going to be a lot of times where you're going to want to quit. You're going to want to cut the cord and fucking run. And if you do that, that's fine. I won't judge you because I've done that. Okay, I've done that. Especially, I don't remember what week it is exactly. It's either 3 or 4. It tells you can't be on your phone for a week. It tells you can't read emails. It tells you it makes it really easy to quit. Whatever week that is. I can't remember. Maybe it's week 7. It might be a little deeper into it, but it makes it tough. So people will be tempted to abandon this. It's kind of a creative U-turn where you turn it around and you're like, I'm good. Recommitment to the process next triggers the free fall of major ego surrender. Following this, the final phase of the course is characterized by a new sense of self, marked by an increased autonomy, resilience, expectancy, and excitement, as well as by the capacity to make and execute concrete creative plans. So I promise if you stick in there, the fruit will come. It just takes some time. The fruit will be bared. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so during this process, we're going to excavate our buried dreams. Okay. Some of our dreams are very volatile, and the mere act of brushing them off sends an enormous surge of energy bolting through our denial system. We mourn the self we abandoned. Okay, so a lot of us are living jobs that are not the dreams we wanted to do as kids. Obviously, life comes at you hard and fast, and you got to do what you got to do to pay the bills. But there is still an inner child and an inner creative within you that really wanted to do something else and really believes deep down it has a little talent and a little zhuzh and a little something, okay? And you got to listen to that voice. That's the next 12 weeks. I want you to listen to that voice. I want you to honor that voice. I want you to put that voice first, that child's voice that says, you are special. You are funny. You are smart. You are talented. You are interesting. And honestly, you're so fucking interesting. We need to gather the whole family into the living room and do a little show. We got a poorly choreographed tap dance with some crazy costumes that we pulled out of all 5 closets in this household. We're cross-dressing a little bit and tap dancing a lot of bit, and we need the whole family to watch. That is the person that I want to show up to this course, okay? The one that used a shoe as a microphone and sang off tune with all of the confidence in the world. Because that person, I promise you, it is for me, and I am technically a creative for a living. It is all the way down there. All right. It has been pushed down by people that have said, you're not pretty. You're not funny. You're not smart. You're not interesting. You're not good. You're not. You can't do that. That's not logical. You shouldn't do that. You're not going to be able to make a living. I'm worried about you if you do that. All of those things, all of those voices inside of your head that are telling you for whatever reason, or have told you in the past. It could be a parent, it could be a teacher, it could be anyone who has given you logic brain reasons to shove down your inner artist. All those voices, we have to work on getting them out of our heads. Okay. And we're going to work on that in week 1. They're called blurts. It's a weird word, but we're going to work on it. All right. So working with this book, you will experience an intensive guided encounter with your own creativity, your private villains, champions, wishes, fears, dreams, hopes, and triumphs. This experience will make you excited, depressed, angry, afraid, joyous, hopeful, and ultimately more free. Okay. So the basic tools, the morning pages, I told you what they are earlier. 3 pages, front to back, stream of conscious writing. Okay. Every single morning. If you can, before you look at your phone in the morning, because when you look at your phone in the morning, you're just putting junk in there. You are giving yourself a reason to get riled up, to get pissed off, to get triggered, to get agitated before your brain even comes online. So no phone if you can, if your schedule permits. Do 3 pages, long handwriting. It's a brain dump. Okay. Just get every single thought you've ever had in your head out. Then there's something called the censor. The censor is what I was just talking about before. The censor is that voice in your head that says, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. You're too old to do that. If you haven't started yet, you're never going to do it. It's that voice, that nagging little fucking voice that says, you're too old, you're too blah, that voice. And the only way to get rid of it is to write down what it's thinking. Okay. So write all of those down. When you start doing your morning pages, write all of the censor's thoughts down. And the censor could have come from, like I said, a parent, a teacher, anyone. It could come from a spouse, a partner, anyone who tells you that your goals and dreams are not pragmatic. That is the censor. You have to write down their thoughts and notice that it will aim for your jugular. It will aim to take you out at the fucking knees. Okay. The censor doesn't want you to create. It doesn't want you to really be happy or fulfilled at all. So the only way you can work through what's real and what's the censor is by writing the censor's thoughts down and acknowledging that's not me. That's a voice in my head that got put there by X, Y, and Z. Okay. So the logic brain was and is our survival brain. It works on known principles. Anything unknown is perceived as wrong and possibly dangerous. Artist brain is our inventor, our child, our very own personal absent-minded professor. Artist brain is our creative, holistic brain. Our sensor scans our creative meadow for any dangerous beasts. Any original thought can look pretty dangerous to our creator. Who wouldn't be blocked if every time you tiptoed into the open, somebody, your sensor, made fun of you? Okay, we move from logic brain to artist brain and from fast to slow, shallow to deep. Spiritual seekers choose to view the process as a gateway to God. Artists and creativity mavens approve it as a conduit for higher creative insights. All of these notions are true as far as they go. They do not go far enough. Yes, we will alter our brain's hemisphere, lower our stress, discover and enter contact with creative source, and have many creative insights. So basically the morning pages are going to serve as a form of meditation. If you already meditate in the morning, great. Add this to the routine. If you have a busy morning and you have kids and you have shit going on and you don't have time, maybe wake up a little early. If you can, you're going to need 30 pages or 30 minutes, 20 minutes. I would say minimum, probably 30 minutes to get these pages done. Do your best. Again, no judgment. And if you fall off after this first one and you're like, I'm done, I don't want to do this anymore, I totally get it. So the artist date is what we have to do. This is a one-on-one date. You are not bringing spouses. You are not bringing children. You are not bringing friends. You are going one-on-one to do something that serves your inner child, whether it's going to the store and buying paints and painting, whether it's getting a coloring book and coloring in a coloring book, whether it is going to an art museum or a bowling alley or a walk on the beach or anything anywhere that brings you joy. You're doing it by yourself. I cannot stress that enough, okay? Because you need to give yourself the space and time for the connection with the higher self, with the creator. And that's hard to come by when you are having a conversation on the beach about Kathy from yoga who fucking wears those see-through yoga pants and her husband is cheating on her, and oh my God, and she drives that car and she has that big ring, but she just looks like such a fucking idiot because everybody knows he's fucking the yoga instructor. Okay? It's really hard to do that when you're gossiping, when you're kikiing, and mama loves to gossip. Mama loves to kiki. Mama loves to really just be taken out of myself in any way that I can be, even if it's a conversation, gossiping about God knows what. So you can't have anyone with you. And this is a good analogy that's in the book. It's basically like, think of the child of divorce who gets to see a beloved parent only on weekends. During most of the week, your artist is in custody of a stern, working adult. What that child wants is attention, not expensive outings. What that child does not want is to share the precious parent with someone like a new significant other. Spending time in solitude with your artist child is essential to self-nurturing. A long country walk, a solitary expedition to the beach for a sunrise or sunset, a sortie out to a strange church to hear gospel music, to an ethnic neighborhood to taste foreign sights and sounds. Your artist might enjoy any of these, or your artist might like bowling. So this basically is going to increase our capacity for good creative work. You're looking for inspiration, right? When you're going out, you're not looking for it. You're going to find it. When you purposefully give yourself time to fill yourself up, you have to have a well of things that you can pull from, because all good artists steal. And they don't steal exactly, but they see something that inspires them, and then they think of something else, and then off to, they go from there. It's off to the races. So it's like you can't just have TikToks in your fucking brain. You know what I mean? That's mashed potatoes and no gravy. That's like fucking dusty ass mashed potatoes. You can't just be scrolling TikToks and be like, oh no, I'm filled with thoughts and ideas. No, you're not. That's other people's thoughts. It's other people's ideas. It's ruining your brain. It's ruining your attention span. It's taking you out of the flow. You need to see art, interact with textures and feelings and environments to be created, to be creative, to be inspired. Okay. Art is born in attention. Its midwife is detail. Art may seem to spring from pain, but perhaps that is because pain serves to focus our attention onto details. Ain't that the motherfucking truth? I think every time that I write the best jokes or I do the best work, it's because have experienced a substantial amount of pain. And then I kind of tricked myself into believing I have to be in pain in order to create, but that's not true. The only reason I'm good at creating when I'm in pain is because I pay attention. All other times I'm yanked out of reality and I don't pay attention. The days I've lost loved ones I can tell you every detail of every day. It's a strange thing about grief. It's a strange thing about pain. It draws you into the present because it's so fucking gnarly. But if you can try and pay attention, and you're not going to be able to, but just give it a little try. Try and pay attention, like on the days when something fucking bad happens to you and you remember every detail. And then by every single detail, you can make it funny. You can remaster it into something that will help other people heal. Okay. The artist's brain is a sensory brain: sight and sound, smell and taste, touch, the elements of magic. And magic is the elemental stuff of art. In filling the well, think magic, think delight, think fun. So this is when you're going on these dates, you're filling the well. So whatever you've been wanting to do for a while, but you've been putting it off because of X, Y, and Z, just know you're going to be like, I'm too busy. I don't have time to do this. That's your sensor. That sort of resistance means you need to go there. So if you want to quit after week 1, this is not even week 1. This is the introduction. This is the fucking introduction. If you want to quit, go ahead. I won't judge you, but just know we're going to be doing this. All right. Here's some activities that are good for creatives: showering, swimming, scrubbing, shaving, steering a car. So many S's. Yes, all of these are regular, repetitive activities that may tip us over from our logic brain into our more creative artist brain. I remember I saw a speech that Pete Fairley gave a couple years ago. Pete Fairley is a genius comedic writer. He wrote Dumb and Dumber. Him and his brother have made a ton of really, really, really special comedy films. And he said anytime he is looking for an idea for a movie, he goes on a long car ride and he turns off the radio and he just drives. And he says the first things that'll come up will be things to do, like, oh shoot, I have to send this person a birthday card. Oh shoot, I have to schedule this meeting. I have to do this. I have to call my sister. I have to blah, blah, blah. And then after your brain gets through all of that, that's when it's cleared out. So what he was saying is essentially like morning pages. So like his morning pages on his car ride were like all the things that he had to get out in the morning. And then after that, he had the freedom to drive and allow ideas to come to him. Steven Spielberg says that his very best ideas have come to him this way too. So at the end of page 23, there's a creative contract. I need you guys to go ahead and sign that. I signed mine. You can see that here. Mine is signed. Can't see it. What am I talking about? Okay, mine is signed. I, Brittany Schmitt, understand that I am undertaking an intensive guided encounter with my own creativity. I commit myself to the 12-week duration of the course. I, Brittany Schmitt, commit to weekly reading, daily morning pages, a weekly artist date, and the fulfillment of each week's tasks. I, Brittany Schmitt, further understand that this course will raise issues and emotions for me to deal with. I commit myself to excellent self-care, adequate sleep, diet, exercise, and pampering for the duration of the course. Signed, Brittany Schmitt. So you guys, I am so excited. Next week will be week 1. If you want to read ahead and we can go over our activities together so we're all on the same page at the same time, that would be great. If you guys want to go a week behind me too, that's fine. Whatever you guys want. I'm proud of you guys for staying. I'm proud of you guys for doing this. And I'm excited to go on this journey with you guys. I love you so much. I will see you next week, besties. Okay, bye.